How's it? O Keilani ko o inoa. Suindo Keilani Susie. Hey, I'm Keilani Rose. I'm playing Miigwan on Shoresy, and you can catch that on Hulu and Crave. I'm about to jam with Elias on the Man Cave Chronicles podcast, all about it.
Keilani, welcome to the cave.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on. You got a new show that just got released on Hulu Shoresy. It premiered May 27th. Everybody's been talking about it online, social media. But before we jump into that, I was doing some research on you. You've done a little bit of everything. Filmmaking, DJ, trained dancer, acting. What's left out there for you to accomplish?
Oh my gosh. Something beyond what I can imagine, I hope.
So what made you get into all these different things and what pushed into acting finally?
Oof, it's been a journey. It all kind of has just been natural steps in personal evolution, I feel like. The sacred arts is part of my heritage. It's something that's in my blood. I feel like from my indigenous roots, dance, music, chant, storytelling, these are all sacred to our culture and ways of passing on, heritage and history. So I feel like it's just kind of been rooted in me and just trying to find a way to come out in today's form. So dance is my first love. And then it kind of surprised me by sending me down this pathway that introduced me to acting. I fell in love with it. Along the way, music fell into my lap as well, because a lot of the dance gigs that I did were side by side with DJs, and they became like brothers to me and just like lent me the pair of turntables, and then that kind of took off down that route. And it all just like comes together so nourishingly to each other. Like it's really balanced, and one feeds the other.
When's the music video? Are you working on something like that?
I think I might have to drop one now. You just put me on the spot.
Well, you figured, you do the acting, doing the DJing, like you could always do a music video with somebody.
I will shout out my little sister, Aloha. She's a musician, a singer-songwriter, and I actually collaborated with her on her first 2 music videos. So you can check those out on YouTube. Awesome. Mama's Hand and Mahina. So I directed and produced those with my company, 2 Rivers and a Rose Filmworks.
How did you like fall into the acting world though? How did you like fell into that?
Well, I was like trying to be a cool kid. I came off of a Disney contract for dance, and all the cool dancers in town had agents. And I was like, I want to get an agent. Let me get an agent. So I sent all my dance stuff in to the dance agent, and they were like, no, we don't want you. I was like, what? You don't want me? So I was digging around to see what other agencies I could apply to. And the one that I found, he was like, yeah, I'll take you if you go take acting class. And I was like, acting class, hey? And then the rest is history, because I went to take my first class and I just started discovering my voice in a new way. And I loved it.
You grew up in Canada, right?
I grew up in so-called Canada in Lheidli T'enneh territory, which is known as Prince George.
It's great how Canada has now even like the Vancouver area, even Toronto has, it's like they're huge now all of a sudden filming TV and movie.
So much happening. It's really a nice energy to be part of.
Have you had a chance to work in Vancouver?
I have. A lot of the work that I've done is in the so-called Vancouver, Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And it's just popping. It's popping. It's hot. It's like I'm really proud to represent and then bring what I have from home and from my roots down. I just moved to LA. I just moved to LA, to Tongva territory. So just infusing that along the way, and hopefully I can bring what I learned from their home and just be this nice flow.
Now, like your newest project, Shoresy, where was that filmed?
That was filmed in Atikameksheng Anishinaabeg territory, which is known as Sudbury. Small town in northern Ontario. Oh wow! Right in the real location where it is set.
Wow. So how did you get approached now for this project?
I auditioned for the project. Sent in a tape. I read the I read the sides, and I was like, what is an aqua dump? What actually is an aqua dump?
One of my questions on here is that line from the first episode.
And then I was like, okay, this is gold. Sign me up. So yeah, sent in a tape, got a call back. I actually got a DM on Instagram from one of our consulting producers, Ganya Dio. She came off Reservation Dogs. I'm such a fan. And she congratulated me on my tape and said, welcome to the show. And I was like,
Wow.
girl.
Did you originally go for this role though? Because I know you have a sister, Blair, on the show also. Like, did you go for this role?
When they sent out the audition to me, it was a package deal. So they had the sides for that first scene. And they just said, read for both girls, just do the whole part. So then I think what's that?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think they kind of looked at us afterwards and did the separation, but at the beginning it was cool because they really auditioned it like sisters, like a twin vibe, twin flame.
No, as I say, like when you were reading for both roles, did you feel connected to a certain role at first before they decided which one to give you?
They didn't really give us much more material to look at, but I would say Miig is perfect for me because in the trifecta with Matt, Miig, and Ziig, I mean, she's kind of me to a T. I'm learning how to be tougher and like stand in my own, but at the same time, she's a little bit more calculated. As you can see in some of the episodes later on, she's a little bit, I want to say, she's just like super precise. Like she doesn't get in the ring until she's ready to take down.
Right.
And Ziig, I mean, I'm in love with Ziig too, because she's just such a firebomb. Like she just comes in fighting out the gate. And I mean, I watch Blair play with that and it looks so fun.
Yeah. Well, even your character, you come out like right away with like the one-liners. Those are some of the funniest things I've seen in a while on a TV show.
Thank you. And I mean, there's a cool element to Miig too, because they build in a little softer side with her crushing on Sanguinet. I mean, he does look good in that suit. What can I say?
No, what was the description you were given for Miig after you book it, and how did you prepare to play the role?
I mean, one of the things that they say about Miig in the breakdown is that she's a tough native, and they do circle back to that in the show and make a joke about tough natives being redundant, which is cool. And I think a lot of that it's nice to channel, it's nice to rep. I think there's, in our communities, we have to be resilient. And we have to stand up for ourselves, and that's just something that we live with. So I think channeling that into Miig comes pretty organically.
Yeah. Now the show's full of, like, it's pretty much about hockey. Did you grow? I know you grew up in Canada, but like, were you around hockey at all?
It's so funny. I haven't really been immersed into the hockey world like some of the folks on the show. I've been welcomed into it with open arms, but the closest thing that I've had with that relationship was DJing for the Canucks, the Vancouver Canucks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's cool. I mean, it was like about time.
Now, what drew you to the role? What do you love about her? And is there anything you would change about her? If you could?
Yeah. I love that Miig fights for the underdog. And I really connect with her love of the game. She says a one-liner, sports bring, where's my one-liner? She says a one-liner, kids in sports stay off the streets. And that also speaks to what I come from too, because I think, having this sense of community really can keep you safe, really can save a life, really, is a support for a lot of people. I grew up with that in my dance studio. So there's a lot of aspects to me that they're just so dear to me. I don't think I would change her.
So what was the biggest challenge now with this character? Any challenges while you were playing her?
Like technically, working it was a challenge. We spent a lot of hours in rehearsal, offset before, or even like when we were in the green room, just banging out the dialogue, because those scenes are like rapid fire. And
the rhythm
the rhythm of it is so important. So I think yeah, that would have been that.
Well, you can even tell in the, like, I don't want to give out too much spoilers, but like in the first episode, you know, you mentioned the aqua dump, but you guys are going firing lines left and right, and you're like, it's just the way you everybody was saying those lines. It's like it was hilarious. That scene's funny.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super lucky to be able to play in the ring with like these heavy hitters. Like Jared is a genius, and like, yeah, you just do your best to keep up and
Yeah.
give it right back to them, and hope for
Like,
the best.
what was your reaction, like reading the scripts even before you like started filming this, when you were reading some of your lines?
Oh man, I really felt when I was reading the scripts, I really fell in love with the way that Miig and Ziig and Nat, the trifecta of these strong female characters. I really loved that. And I was so excited to bring that to life.
Yeah. Now, how about the chemistry between you and Blair? How do you describe that? And how fun was it like filming those scenes with her?
Oh my gosh, like yin and yang, you know, for both of us, lots of true sisterhood, and growth, and you know, it's grateful.
Yeah. If you so there were 6 episodes that were filmed, and it's considered a mini series, but do you think we'll see another season? Have you heard anything?
Oh, hopes are high, man. Hopes are high. We haven't got the official word yet, but it looks like reviews are coming in strong. The audience is receiving it really well. I'm surprised, like so pleasantly surprised that it's reaching beyond Canada, you know?
Yeah.
So that's cool to see. So
Well, yeah, because it was released in Canada at first before we even got it in the States on Hulu. What's been the reaction so far from the Canadian side?
Dude, we're #1 on Crave right now.
Are you? Wow, that's awesome.
Jared sent us a text and he was like, guys, check this out. And we were like,
wow,
sick. So I think we're still resting in that spot since we came out. And it's just nice to see people loving it.
What's been the reaction from the Hulu side when it got released in the States? Have you heard any news on that?
I haven't got the update yet, but I was shopping the other day and someone behind me was listening. I mean, I guess they heard the conversation I was having at the till, and they were like, did you just say Shoresy? My boyfriend can't wait for that to come out. And I was like, okay, cool. There's some heat. There's some heat.
That's awesome. How was it working out with the rest of the cast also? What was the vibe on set?
Oh my, honestly, the best. The vibe on set was the best. It was so nice to work on a project that brought so much levity, so much laughter, so much joy. The boys are like the brothers I've never had but always wanted. And it was just too much fun to chirp them like back and forth and watch their antics in the green room, in the change room. Working with the director working with the director Jacob, just always jokes too. There's a thing going around. I know you can edit this part out if you want, but there's a thing going around in our social medias that we keep posting "Dolo means go," because there was a scene that we have to film where there's like the big fight. I don't know how much we're allowed to say, but there's a big fight scene, and we're supposed to come like running in, being like, "What the are you guys doing?" Right? And when Jacob was directing it, he had to pause the movement to make sure that our entrance lined up with the timing. Oh, wow. And he was trying to figure out which cues to yell at us. And he was like, okay, as soon as I say pause, I want you guys to stop. And guys, pause means go. So then he like tried a run like that where he said pause, and we like ran, but like pause. And he's like, no. Okay, sorry. Now try this. Dolo means go. So now we have this thing with the cast that's like, whenever you say dolo means go.
And everybody's going.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is it for the first few episodes that have been aired, is there a certain scene that you love being part of?
I gotta tell you, one of my favorite scenes I'm not in. Okay. One of my favorite scenes is with Shoresy and Laura, and they're sitting there and he's just being the softest, doe-eyed little like romantic. It's so cute. I love that moment with them. And I also love the moment that he does with the 3 gyms where he's ripping on musical jokes the whole way through. just one after another. It was so good. But a favorite scene between Miig and the girls. So many good ones. Don't put me on the spot like this.
There's definitely good ones. So if the listeners, the viewers, they have to just go on there and just binge the show.
There it is.
Now, what's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us that you're working on so the viewers and the listeners can know about?
I believe so. Let's see. For sure, we have Breathe coming out soon. We just finished filming. It's a short film written and directed by a dear friend of mine named Cody Kearsley, who's coming off Riverdale. It's
Yeah, I had him on the show. I had him on the show a couple of years ago.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
there you go. Small
yeah.
world. So, you'll have to talk to him about it when it comes out, because it's a personal story for him about how addiction has affected his life. And I think it's a beautiful exploration that will bring some compassion to that subject. So Breathe, short film coming soon. Some writing projects with my Two Rivers and a Rose, and more collaborations with my sister Kealoha.
Awesome.
SkyMed is coming out in the summer.
Okay.
It's a new show in Canada called, it's a new show in Canada, going to come out on CBC and Paramount Plus. And it's about first responders in rural communities. So I get to play a character who speaks Cree. So that was a really a gift to learn and work with, a Cree knowledge keeper.
Awesome.
Yeah, just
keep on grinding away.
Surprises. I'm gonna hopefully throw
right.
some parties and DJ now that we have a show to celebrate.
There you go. There you go. Lastly, how can the listeners and viewers find you on social media?
My Instagram tag is at Keilani Elizabeth Rose, and I also have a DJ tag at DJ Keilani Rose. Twitch, if you want to see some live streams, and Mixcloud for sure if you want those mixtapes.
Keilani, this was great. Thank you for giving me a few minutes today to talk about the show and your career.
So great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So